Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're doing a follow-up video for you today, and I'm really going to be bolstering on those two key points that I gave you in my previous video. And we were really talking about the US government coming out of a shutdown and then these new stimulus checks that are going to be going out. And I think it's really now put down to a tariff dividend. We'll be going over it all in this video. We'll be looking at an article specifically. We're going to read through it. I'll get you guys up to date. I think it's a brilliant article. It's definitely worth knowing what's going on at the moment and understanding what happened during past shutdowns. Historical data is so important, especially to myself. I do a lot of work in the Terra Classic community, and I've just figured out that Binance is essentially holding around 50% of the USTC supply. And that's essentially what data can produce. It can take you down these real positive paths where you get actual results. And essentially, you can normally trade around all of these different things. If Binance is, in fact, going to burn all of those coins, right? Well, the likelihood is you're going to want to grab yourself a bag of USTC. So if you're completely external, right, to the Terra Classic community, I've probably just dropped you a little bit of alpha there. So let's go over and take a look at this article. Now, they're saying when the past shutdown ended, Bitcoin soared 96% and then 157%. And I said to everybody, alt season's really going to come on the back end of a big drop. And the likelihood is we're going to all move up with BTC. There's going to be a crash. BTC is going to move down, but the rest of the market's just going to go upwards. And that's how we'll know we really are in what people deem as altcoin season. And I'm yet to behold an altcoin season, but I can tell you something for certain, you guys. I am positioning myself better each and every day. I'm not going out. I'm not buying pizzas. I'm not buying Monster Energies at the shop. I'm not buying a Starbucks coffee. Instead, I am dollar cost averaging that money into cryptocurrencies, more specifically things like XRP. Think about where you are right now. You're part of a very, very small percentage of people. And as the other 94% or whatever of the global population gets involved in crypto, we're going to push your bags up. So anyway, let's push forward. So after 41 days of a partial government closure, the United States may soon reopen. At the same time, President Donald Trump announced a tariff dividend, a proposed $2,000 benefit for every American citizen, seen as a strong fiscal stimulus signal. These two developments have sparked investor speculation on investors driving Bitcoin toward a new breakout as liquidity returns to the US economy. And like I said, the historical value here is very important because the likelihood is we are going to see a big move coming in the future. And last time the US government shut down, well, there wasn't stimulus checks to go out with it. So do bear that in mind. So according to journalist Nick Sautor on X, absolute cesspit of a place, what a toxic pool that is. The continuing resolution was passed in the Senate by a 60-40 vote. The decision paves the way to end the 41-day-long government shutdown, the longest in recent history. However, the bill still requires final approval from the House of Representatives and the President's signature before officially taking effect, and this process could be completed in the coming days. Polymarket prediction data is actually showing that more than 90% of investors are confident that the US government shutdown will officially end this week, and we can see here on this chart, they're predicting around November 14th. And the news in my country this morning isn't that good. Donald Trump's actually going to be suing the BBC for defamation. And I think when things like this happen to Donald Trump, it really brings the American team together. And I think they're all likely going to use that as maybe a scapegoat, if you will, and kind of say, well, at the end, we're going to end the shutdown. We're all friends again now. Let's just go after the BBC. So going on with this article, the probability of the US government ending its shutdown, which is coming again from the source being Polymarket prediction markets. The South Park episode on that is absolutely hilarious. If you haven't seen it, I advise going to watch that. I can't advise you on many things, but I would definitely advise you on getting up to date with that South Park episode. It's absolutely hilarious. News that the government shutdown is ending has sent stock futures, gold, silver, and Bitcoin rallying. And the deal means it's back to business as usual in Washington, D.C. Deficits and inflation will rise, and investors will continue to seek alternatives to depreciating US dollars. Historically, Bitcoin has reacted strongly after previous US shutdowns ended. According to a post shared on X, Bitcoin surged 96% and 157% following similar resolutions in February 2018 and in 2019. So again, it's been a significant amount of time, right, since there's been one of these government shutdowns, and this one has been the longest in recent history. On top of that, right, you've got this stimulus check going out. So this is now an untested concoction, if you will. This is something that isn't priced into the market at this point. You could say that the shutdown itself priced into the market, maybe, just because of how crypto goes when there's too much good news out there. You get a negative effect. It's actually really unusual. I did a video on this previously. I'm going to do a video on it again because I thought it was really interesting. Now, this tariff dividend, which is Trump's new fiscal stimulus and its impact on Bitcoin, is going to be huge because there was a lot of different studies done, especially in my country, in the US as well, and a few other countries, on what those stimulus checks done during the Rona Ronason period for cryptocurrency. And for me, I'm all on board. If Donald Trump wants to give $2,000 to each and every American citizen, and at least 5% of those people invest a portion of that in crypto, yeah, the likelihood is we're going to see another big leg come in for Bitcoin. And a lot of people keep saying it's going to be perpetually up from here, but I'm not believing this. I do think there is going to be a huge clawback at some point, and Bitcoin really is going to come crashing down, and this cycle is going to be well and truly over. But until that moment happens, I'm going to be trying to make as much money as possible. So they're saying just before the reopening process began, President Donald Trump unveiled the tariff dividend, a proposed $2,000 payment for every American citizen, and he also introduced several eye-catching financial proposals, including 50-year mortgage loans, direct insurance payouts, and cutting subsidies for insurance firms. This move signals a strong commitment to expanding fiscal spending in 2026. If implemented, the tariff dividend could inject hundreds of billions of dollars into the economy, creating a spillover effect across financial and crypto markets. Guys, this is what I was talking about in my previous video. We've got to pay attention to this because this is likely going to be the next turning point, and you're not going to want to miss this next leg, because the likelihood is, right, this one or the next one, if we are lucky to get another big leg out of Bitcoin past this, we're going to be pushing it. The odds are it's going to come crashing down at some point. We're going to get alt season. That's going to cool off. And then all of the memes should have their turn. And then the market's really going to cool off until the next halving event. So position yourself very carefully, my friends. Dollar cost average as much as you can. That's what I'm doing. And none of this is financial advice. It's for educational purposes only. But this is the time. When you start to see signals like this in the market, we've had a real low period come in. We've had a lot of these coins come crashing down. It's an absolute fire sale at this point, guys. Do not find yourself in that bearish mind trap of thinking it's all over, right? A $100 investment could change your future in a snap of a fingers, but you have got to be on the board. You have got to be playing the game in order for you to profit. But invest carefully, my friends, my schmetterlings. And that's really all I've got for you for now. Nice little article there for us to go through, just catching up on things. And a little bit of alpha there for you guys at the beginning. Like I said, if you're external to the Terra Classic ecosystem and you don't know about that, pay attention. Could be some big things coming, especially if around 50% of the USTC supply is located and destroyed. We've located it. Now all we've got to get them to do is abide by that final judgment that was ruled in the courts of Delaware in the United States. But look, guys, Don't forget to like, drop a comment, subscribe, hit the notifications bell if you want to. We've got a Patreon group. I do all of my portfolio updates in there. I do alpha drops, and we've got a trading indicator coming. We've got all sorts of dedicated things we're working on specifically. So if you're interested in that, links are below. You know, if you want to buy us a coffee, you can just join that and you can just loiter around in the private Discord group where you'll always be able to contact me one-to-one. But guys, stay safe, stay humble, stay aware, and as always, say it with me, I'll catch you in the next one.